Our kingdoms spread all the way from Chinsali to the Eastern Province, where technically, historically...
Please proceed to the question. We do not have time.
No, we do have time. We do have time. We do have time. The reason I have come here, there are very few women here because a lot of women are working. They're at home. They're looking after the children. We're stressed. Do you understand? We're stressed as women in this country. You, Mr. Moderator, I think we're trying to have a light moment. You are extremely patronizing to that young lady who spoke earlier. Okay? All I heard was serious fact after fact, and you were incredibly patronizing to her. Okay, so I'm not politically active, but I have a huge concern. It feels like the country has been betrayed, it has been hijacked, and it feels like...
Order.
It feels like we are being held hostage. The reason I mentioned that I'm a princess of the Visa royal establishment is that traditionally I was brought up that if anybody in Chief Monze's kingdom is starving, that is my problem, and I'm from the East. Right? Tutwa Nguluwe says you were given an opportunity to participate in this whole process. From what I've heard here, the reason I came here, because I'm so confused, I don't understand. The reason I came here is I really wanted to understand what this is about. Now, I'm reasonably educated, and this is an incredibly complicated issue. Where did you go in the country, and to whom did you pose these questions? Right? Tutwa Nguluwe. I need to...
Order. Order. Shall we have order, please? Proceed, ma'am.
Thank you.
Proceed.
I'm so sorry. I'm not engaged, and the reason I'm asking is that I'm not saying that I am speaking on behalf of the royal establishments in this country. But since they form the majority of the poor and disenfranchised, I need to be clear, because my next stop is to go to my uncles and my elders in the House of Chiefs to say, do you understand what is going on in the other house? So that there is some sort of checks and balances, because we're being held hostage. Okay? Now, my final question is, how? And by the way, before the Christians came here, we had our own religions. We were doing just fine. Number one. Number two, in my part of the world, we were Muslim first before people converted to Christianity. So I was very concerned about what Linda said about, being a Christian nation, being aspirational. What it feels like, again, is that we're moving closer to a theocracy. You have taken advantage of the poor, you have taken advantage of superstition, and you bring this National Day of Prayer. Because what is going on is not Christian. It's not Christian. No, don't. Tutwa, you were talking about, if you don't like me, you took time, right? So listen.
Order.
Listen.
Ma'am, order. Hold on,
Final
ma'am.
question.
Order. Shall we have order, please?
Final question. So does it mean that if this bill goes through and I'm talking to people and I say, our ancestors are not pleased with this, well, the Christians now come to me and saying, no, she's an ancestor worshipper, let's arrest her and so on. But my final question, please, Mr. Mwimbu, Honorable Mwimbu, Linda and Mr. State Counsel, how can we get rid of this thing immediately?
Thank you. Thank you. Order. Shall we have order, please? Shall we have order? Bring the microphone here in the center. We want to take a question from another lady to send a clear message. We are not here to patronize the women. State Council. Order. We are coming. Order. State Council. Order. We are coming. State Council. The lady there was asking a question. I think maybe you might want to answer it. No, that to you it was a comment, but the question was to those that are opposing the question. How are you going to make sure that this bill is gotten rid of? That's the question immediately. State Council.
The answer is very simple. Answer is very simple. People power. That's all what you need. Okay? Just mobilize the people and make it known that the people are against it. You know, because the ultimate authority lies with the people. Now, if the people remain quiet, that's why I'm very impressed about the attendance this evening. And at least it shows the seriousness that the people are attaching. And I can see that we are now almost going on to 22 hours, and everybody is still seated. And that goes to show the importance. That shows the importance of this particular issue. Now, one of the issues you need to understand is that somebody is a president because the people of Zambia said so. Okay? So, just like you have the power to put somebody in power, you also have the power to... Yeah. So, we have the power. The question is, are we ready to use it?
Thank you. Thank you. Before we get back to the audience, Honorable Koplande, correct me if I'm wrong. There's a question here. Your select committee has recommended that MPs should be remunerated for the full 5-year term even when National Assembly is dissolved. Is this correct? If so, why? Does Zambia have the money to afford to pay MPs who are not in office?
Parliament, in effect, Parliament does not die. Parliament goes into hibernation and is standing by for recall at any point in case of emergency by the President. That is the position on Parliament. So that in effect, Parliament simply prologues, but can be called back at any time in case of an emergency or in a worse situation.
Order.
So Parliament runs for a full 5-year term. That is the position. Thank you.
Thank you.